Hi and welcome to Whiskey Shared. You're watching day one of my mystery whiskey advent calendar for 2020. I'm Toby and you're watching Whiskey Shared. Welcome to day one of my mystery whiskey advent or dramvent calendar for 2020. If you watched this last year, you'll be familiar with how this works, although I have made a few changes. Every day throughout December on the lead up to Christmas, I'll be tasting one of 24 samples. They'll be blind and I'm using blue glasses to help me on that blind tasting journey. I don't want the colour of the liquid to sort of cloud my judgment and to lead me into things that I wouldn't necessarily say otherwise. The drams have been poured by my wife, so I don't know what they are. She selected a random selection of 24 samples from my sample collection. These are samples that I've gained from members of the community and from clubs that I'm a member of. So although I do have a vague idea of what the drams could be, there's over 100, about 110 in total, and this is obviously one of those 110. So quite a lot to get through. Shall we find out what's in the glass? On to the whiskey. Right, so before I start, if you want to play along with me, then just keep watching. But if you want a sneak peek at what's in my glass, take a look in the description now. Right, let's start with the nose. Right, lots of toffee, lots of caramel. It's very sweet indeed. There's a slight sort of funkiness there. It's almost like a real sugary fudge I'm getting now. It's almost like that crystallized sort of sugar I'm picking up on the nose. Possibly some fruit there. Red berries possibly. Maybe this has got a sherry influence. Not sure at this stage, although it does instantly remind me of Glen Scotia double cask. But obviously it isn't that, because that's one of my whiskies and not one of these samples. So let's try it on the palate. Right. There is a real malty character along with that toffee and caramel. That comes through on the palate as well, which is good. I like it when those sort of sweet flavours come through on the palate. But there's also, I'd say it's like a red wine cask more than a sherry. It's quite tannic, quite dry on the tongue. It's really making me salivate. Possibly not too high ABV, maybe 46%. Let's have another sip. So yeah, the flavours I'm getting through are sort of toffee, caramel, really tannic, red wine, possibly sherry. It's really making me salivate a lot, so maybe it is higher ABV, maybe it's 48, 50%. Don't think there's any hint of smoke in there, but it is quite a lot of dry wood on the finish. I'm not sure if that comes from that sort of wine flavour or whether or not that is from the cask itself, but if I had to guess, I'd say it's a Scotch. It's quite nice, but that wine is possibly a bit overpowering, but it's probably one that could do with a bit of water, maybe taking your time with. But if I had to guess, possibly a Campbelltown, but yeah, I think it's a Scotch. I don't think, okay, could I push it further and say it's Glen Scotia? Maybe I've been led because of that on the nose, but I'm going to stick with Campbelltown. I'm not going to try and commit myself further because I can't even fathom what that might be from the sample collection, because you know it's not like I studied it in detail beforehand. So yeah, I don't know at this stage, but yeah, it's quite nice. Should we find out what it is? Right, so yeah, I was miles off. It's a Swedish whiskey. I might be pronouncing this wrong. It's a Bergslagens Sherry Darling Ferie. It's 46% ABV, so I was right first off. Obviously, I did think it was higher than that after a while. It's the first of the whiskies I've tried from this brand. This was provided by Frederick, who's another YouTuber. If you haven't checked out his channel, then please do. I'll put a link in the description. And this is the first from that brand that I've tried. So I actually do have some more that he's sent me. You never know, it could pop up in this tasting in future, or it might not, and I'll have to try them in my own time. So really interesting. It's great to try something new. I was miles off, but some interesting flavours there, and yeah, I can spend the rest of my time enjoying what's left in the glass. Sauncha.
I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, why not give it a like or a comment, and please consider subscribing for more videos like this.